Welcome to Faith Journey, nurturing, learning, and hearing. In this podcast, we embark on a transformative journey delving into the profound intersection of faith, learning, and healing.
Welcome to another episode of Your Faith Journeys. Today, we're with a gentleman from Gary, Indiana. I'm going to let him introduce himself.
Hello, my name is LaJuan Clemons. I'm the founder and CEO of the Family Life Community Center and the Gary Food Collector. It's a pleasure, man. Glad to see you.
It's more of a pleasure for me, brother.
All right.
I'm just be real. I had to hunt this brother down, but God,
don't say that.
but God really made it happen, and I'm thankful for what He does. But the things that you do here, LaJuan, are not the everyday things.
No.
What do you do here?
Well, basically, what I used to do here was we occupied a building.
Yes.
And occupying a building is not taking it to the streets. So what we do now is what we consider street ministry. We're building God's kingdom outside of the four walls. And we do that through utilizing resources, because the church has to be a resource in order for the community to respect it. You got to be able to provide resources to the community if you're going to help them. So we pretty much, in every angle, develop relationships and partnerships where there's just about nothing we cannot do as far as uplifting and rescuing God's people from trauma, danger, food insecurity, even if they need attorneys. Whatever it might be, shelter, whatever it might be, we've established those relationships so that the church can be as powerful as it can in the city of Gary.
So what does that look like in a tangible perspective? The things that you do to serve this community, and you create light in people's life. But as we were talking earlier, it's not your light; it's Christ's light.
No, so you have to understand how this really works. Let me just show you this.
Okay.
You kind of came when. So when we talk about taking it to the streets, this right here is a grill. Most churches they meet on Sunday, and we meet in the four walls, and you have the musicians and the pastor preaching. But this right here, this is going to be the stage for our outside ministry. And then afterwards, we're going to break bread together. So we're going to have, this is the stage where folks are singing and giving word and testimonies. But on the outside of that, if you can imagine, people will be seated, and afterwards we'll have a good home cooked meal. So this is how you take it to the street. You take the church on a trailer and you pull it directly into a community, and you have church. And so that's just one of the issues of being grassroots. It's not about how many members you got, because the community is the church.
It's the body.
It's the body.
Yeah.
You see, so this right here, he came at a time once again where we're putting these in every district of the city of Gary. These are co-op facilities where we distribute food. Any given week, we probably distribute 8,000 to 10,000 pounds of food in this city. And we get 200, 300, 400 people a day until we run out. We have partnerships with Myers and Target, and of course in Northwest Indiana Food Bank, we have partnerships with butchers. And people don't understand that those resources is readily available to the church. We just got to get in position to get those resources. So when you talk about what we're doing, we've left the concept of the church being in the four walls. The church is out here in the community. And the Bible says, if I be lifted up, I'll draw men unto me. And so that's what we do. We uplift people through having what they need. So if they pray, they know God's going to answer their prayers through the resources that we have. It's not a big old present going to fall out the sky onto your porch. We have those resources. You know, we have to be smart enough to understand every aspect of this war that we're in, so that we can then challenge them that challenge us. We got to learn.
Tell us about the war that we're in, because you said that with emphasis. I want to know that.
Well, anytime you don't control anything, and anytime someone else controls it, they have the power. So if you look what happened with the bill that just passed, taking away health insurance, taking away the food servicing programs, and all the dollars that went into the communities that are downtrodden, that don't have a lot of resources, they're pulling back a lot of that funding. And so what God showed me years ago was that the funding isn't in the grants. The funding is knowing Him. And so what we've done is we've kind of sidestepped all of that funding stuff, which is great, the grants and things of that nature. And God has allowed us to develop partnerships to fight this war with, guess what? His people. And His people a lot of times don't look like the church people that you might think. See, God will use a rock. The scripture says, if you don't cry out, these rocks will cry out. We got to start looking at, we got to stop being so engulfed in our religion and start understanding that God will use a nobody to be somebody for your mission. Mm. You know?
So when you're serving individuals food on a daily basis, you're looking at possible doctors, lawyers, people who was once something, but now they could be something else based on that you're giving them something for that day that's going to make their life more fulfilled.
Right. So what I've learned, and this is what I teach, that any restaurant, they buy food wholesale. They make a profit off it, sometimes 3-4 times a profit. If food is really that cheap, why isn't the general public buying food like restaurants? I learned that a long time ago. So the simplicity of feeding a community is not hard. As I told you earlier, I got a pallet of chicken legs for pennies on a dollar. This will take care of my community, the mothers, the single mothers, the mothers that's not single, the fathers that's working. We don't just deal with the folks that ain't working. We deal with the working because they need the resources too. But we're pumping these resources straight into the community because God told us to for pennies on a dollar. There should be no hungry folk in your community. I'm telling you, it shouldn't be a food desert.
You know, one of the interesting things you shared with me when we first started talking, you said that, you know, your evolution of what God has done for you and your family is that you guys were the foundation of providing. Yeah. You still provide, but you got other people such as the restaurants doing some of the work. And I just love that concept, man. What was the thought behind that?
Well, see, every business should have a back end nonprofit to write off the expenses. So if you got a business, put you a nonprofit on the back end and serve on that so that you can write off a lot of that expense. So what we've done is we taught businesses and we provide the food. So we'll give them the steaks and the chicken and all of that. They provide these meals and so forth, and they get to write off a lot of service that they use because they donate this to the community from the utilities, you know what I'm saying, and just different kind of grants that they can get because now they're systematically infusing community service into not just selling a salad, but through what we do. If they're getting the pounds and pounds of lettuce and stuff, food stuff that we're giving them, it's a heck of a lot easier for them to do business. You created
a business model for them that they could adopt, and it could affect their bottom line. So
yes, sir.
You have a program. I don't want to call it a program. I want to call it. You have a process in place that allows them to benefit on their bottom line if they choose to do so. Yeah. But they also, in the interim, they serve in the community.
They're serving the community,
which is more. I mean, to me, it's more important that they're making a difference.
Most of them want to serve.
Right.
They just don't know how.
There you go.
Most people want to serve. They just don't know how. And we got to get out here and show them how.
Yes.
Because in the end, they're going to say, God, you gave me a restaurant and I might have made $100,000 a year. But then when you stand before the Creator and you said I had a restaurant, but on the back end, that year I served 250 meals to the hungry, to the naked, he's going to say then to you, come on in, not depart from me.
Yes.
Because we truly got to understand everything we do is to the glory of God.
Yes. And that's God's restaurant anyway.
Yes.
I mean, and when you're serving, you're making a commitment to that it is God's restaurant. Yeah. Yeah. Because you're serving his people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we've made it hard to be his children. It's not hard. And I understand, and it's people get mad at me because I say that we're not chasing grants. I would love them. They drop in my lap and somebody write them up for me. But just imagine if Christ had to get a grant to heal, to save you, to make a way out of no way.
We'd like to express our gratitude to our sponsors and donors for supporting the Faith Journey podcast. Thank you for tuning in. May you be blessed and continue to smile. Until we meet again.